So, hello and good day to the internet world and everyone on YouTube. Today we are talking about Salon Magazine, Salonpreneur. I don't even know what it's called anymore. Salonpreneur Magazine. I've said it so many times lately, I don't even know what it's called. Salonpreneur Magazine, Autumn Edition. And today I'm joined by the lovely Kerry Beavis, and we're going to be talking about her article in the Autumn Edition. So, hello, Kerry.
Oh, thanks for having me. This is
That's
lovely.
I know it is, isn't it? We should not. We've been chatting for ages before we come on to do this, and
Yeah.
yeah, which is nice because we don't get to see each other very often. So we're going to be talking today about Kerry's article, which is all about stopping RSI as a beauty and holistic therapist. I really need to get my teeth in today, and Kerry's put 5 essential exercises for long-term health for our careers in the magazine, and we aren't going to necessarily do all those exercises today. Although we probably could do some of those exercises today. But what I wanted to talk to Kerry about today is just really more about the overarching problems of RSI for us as an industry. Because it is whether you're a massage therapist, a beauty therapist, a hairstylist, makeup artist, we all do micro movements. We are all very fine detail in some of our work with our fingers, mainly because this is and our wrists and our elbows, and our shoulders. Well, in fact, it's our whole body, isn't it?
Whole
But
body, exactly that. Yeah. Like your body is your tool, really. Although you've
yeah,
got all the extra bits you buy from Salon Serve or wherever, without looking after this body, you can't do anything. And we've
no,
both been there, haven't we? Had issues that
indeed.
are debilitating and stopping
Yeah,
your career, in essence.
yeah.
So, yeah,
And I think as
really.
well, like as much as I know when I did my holistic training, we were kind of taught about posture and how to stand at the couch and all that kind of stuff. But I think what happens is you then go into the real world and your treatment room isn't as big as the space you had at college or in the training academy, and it's all set up a bit differently, and you've got your trolley in a different place, and so you end up kind of compromising your posture for ease of movement around the bed or because another piece of equipment is at a certain point. And so we
Yeah.
compromise, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. And I do think it's important before you even start your day to make sure that everything, like, your bed's at the right level, your trolley's where you need it to be. So you exactly that, you aren't overreaching and twisting and doing weird, funky music and movements and being hunched as
Yeah.
much as possible. And it's about being body aware as well. Like I used to teach massage therapy, and I used to say to people, your knees bend. You don't have to bend your back to get closer to your client. Move your table, move your chair, or bend your
Oh,
knees, but
I've
don't
just
let
been
it
made
come.
aware of somebody, and it's just come into my head. She was doing some training, sorry, and I cannot even begin to tell you who this was. If she watches it, she'll know. But there was this whole conversation around with a student who said she was explaining something, and she went, but my knees don't bend.
Knees don't bend. You've got dodgy knees.
I'm not doing that. My knees don't bend. It's like,
Oh, how does she walk?
okay. Yeah, well, this was exactly it. But I think we can't, and I don't know where that mentality came from or why that I don't know.
Yeah,
My friend who was trying to teach this particular class, um, I think just bemused because all of we know our knees bend, but maybe she
yeah,
just never been taught how to use her knees through her training. I don't know. I'm sorry, it just tickled me because it just
yeah,
brought that to mind. You saying you're bending your knees.
yeah. Like your knees bend. They do bend, unless you've got
Yeah,
problems with them, which I don't want to. But yeah, you've got to bend from your knees doing all of this stuff and sitting right and not sitting at a funny angle because you do that over hours and hours. You're going to really feel
yeah,
it, and it's going to jeopardize your career in the long run. That you see so many young people come into the industry and then can't do it for whatever reason because they haven't looked after their bodies. Like, and it's
yeah.
oh yeah, it's so important, and it's happened to me. Like I had to end up getting signed off work. I went when I worked in a spa, 40 hours of massage, and couldn't sit. I couldn't stand for more than 5 minutes. I got tendonitis. I went down to 6.5 stone because we wasn't really eating
Wow.
properly. Yeah, I was ill working in this spa. And that's how I got into Pilates. I was like, I can't work like this. I was in so much pain and
Yeah.
discomfort that being in that point made me realize how important it is to like use your body's your tool. You've got like when you're in a day, especially if you work in a spa, you've got to warm up, limber up a bit, and stretch and move before
Yeah,
and after shift. Really,
yeah.
just don't end up
Because
like
it's
how
a
I
lot. Isn't it?
was.
I
It was
mean, I always kind of veered away from. I did look. We had a beautiful spa near where I lived, and a lot of
yeah,
us from my college were there was a lot of kind of ambition to, that could be like a really great place to work because how good it'd look on your CV and everything.
yeah,
But I'd been there as a guest and I knew what those girls got put through, and
yeah,
I did not want to be doing back to back to back to back to back massage. I think
yeah,
I've got a bit of hypermobility, so I always knew my joints were going to be a potential issue.
yeah,
Love my clients because even like now I still treat clients for massage and therapies, and every now and again they get the odd click and crack and whatever as I'm working, and it's just, unfortunately it's part of the course with my wrists and my hands. Um,
yeah,
but I think, but we do have to be really careful, and if you're working in a spa environment, I'd like to think that now many of the spas are more thoughtful about what they're putting the therapist through.
yeah. I tell you what though, sometimes it's not even the massages. Like I used to find pedicures were the worst and
Mm,
waxing as well because again you're hunched. So I
yeah,
would even swap sometimes. I would swap with girls to say I will do your massage if you do my pedicure because I knew how to bend my knees in the end, but
yeah.
not with stiff. I
Yeah, we
found it
can't do a
more like
massage just like this. Can you
so
imagine?
is
I
that
mean, just that'd hurt so much after a while, wouldn't it? Even
yeah,
just doing that without trying to move anything other than my arms, that hurts.
hurts into your neck, all of it.
Mm.
Yeah, but I think they are becoming, with regards to the massage, because it is still hard, very hardcore. I think hopefully they're getting better. They have like a limit now, don't they? Whereas
Yeah.
back in
Isn't
the
it
day,
supposed to be something like 3 or 4 a day that we should be doing? I think,
yeah,
isn't it like with our
that's what they
massages?
like recommend. It's never kind
Yeah.
of like kind of forced, is it? I think enforced, but I don't know. Hopefully it's changed a bit now. But yeah, we used to do 7, 8 hours of massage,
And
and
it's a
it,
lot, isn't it? But
yeah,
but then I
it is,
think
and that's
everything we do, every specialty in our industry, and whether it is massage or facials or lashes or nails or hair, if your hair, it's that finger, isn't it? They get so much carpal tunnel because it's that finger from the
yeah,
cutting. And
yeah, that
yeah, and that's going to give you carpal and potentially cuboid as well. And
yeah,
and then with nails, like it's that, that move. I mean, now a lot of girls do use e-files, but even with an e-file, the then can get vibration issues and stuff. And it's no matter what we
yeah,
do, our muscles and our nerves and everything are at risk from being trapped and from being damaged and inflamed. And we just need to do
yeah.
what we can to try and minimize that, don't we?
Yeah, definitely. And even just simple things like I know I talked about RSI and like your wrists and your
Mm,
hands, but even grabbing some tennis balls at the end of every day and like laying on your back with a couple of tennis balls, like in your
yeah,
muscles, up your glutes, up and down your spine. It used to be
yeah,
like my savior, like
yeah,
stretching, even with like a cord of a dressing gown to stretch your hamstrings.
yeah.
You don't need all the fancy equipment. The best thing I've got is a Theragun. Have you heard of a Theragun?
I have heard of a Theragun. I'm just looking for that I thought would be a good demonstration, but I don't know where. I've got one actually. Hang on. Let me just reach to the side of my camera. This isn't the right thing. I got this at an event recently. Believe in yourself.
Believe in
Never
yourself.
give up.
That on your glutes.
Yeah,
Perfect.
but I've got my putty.
Yeah,
Um,
strengthening your hand.
yeah, strengthening your hands. Um,
Yeah,
but there's many ways we can do it, isn't there? That we can help our hands. And like you say, that
yes.
tennis ball thing, there's so many ways we can try and release what we build up in our bodies on a daily basis.
Yeah, exactly that. And even the energy you're taking on from other
Mm.
people,
Yeah,
it's your own body. So it's you're taking on a lot. So moving your body even in like a bit of a somatic way and just swaying. You might feel a bit of a plonker, but do it when no one's
yeah,
around. Just
yeah,
move your body and shake it and get it used to
yeah,
moving in different ways can
yeah,
really, honestly, it just helps. Like Joseph Pilates, going back to Pilates, used to
yeah,
quote like you're only as old as your spine. So if your spine's, if you're lacking mobility, then you're going to feel it. Like
mm,
it's so
definitely.
important to stretch and get mobility in your body for this
Yeah,
job, in this
yeah.
industry. 100%. It
And
really is.
so, and I'm just thinking because I know one of the things that we struggle with quite a lot. no matter what area of the industry we're in, are arm and shoulder issues, and wherever everything really, isn't it, from sort of trapezius all the way down to our fingertips, is we are more prone to, and obviously
Yes.
some spinal issues from posture of whatever we're doing. But most in if you I'm sure if you go to the health and safety executive and look at the figures, most of our industrial injuries are arm based, so in some way
Yes.
on that limb. Um,
Yeah.
and I know from my own experience, I used to get quite a lot of frozen shoulder when I first started doing nails commercially and was active and doing, many clients a day. All of a sudden, I developed frozen shoulder, and
Yeah.
um, and I kept getting it, and I'd live on Nurofen for a while, and eventually it'd ease off, and then it'd start again. And I've written up my board, and I'm going to remember to look at my board to remind me to mention something, because there are many different techniques, and using things like this to kind of strengthen your hands,
Yeah.
and like my putty. Sorry, we will get to the thing that's on my board in a second, but like the putty, you can order this stuff on Amazon, and it's really, really good, and you can do all sorts of magical things with it in your hands, that really
Yeah.
help strengthen your hands. And I know, and I was given this by a physio. This has been going for years, actually, this thing, after surgery, since 2018. I think I was given this 2019. But it helps, and there's a lot of different exercises you can use with putty to help strengthen. But what I was going to say before I got distracted by the toys in front of me was about the thing that corrected me and stopped me from having a frozen shoulder was a saddle stool. And because I used to sit on a therapist stool, which we all know, you're sort of sitting on like a little round disc that's like generally much smaller than our backsides are, which means that
100%.
you've got room to fall off, move,
Yeah.
twist, sit in awkward positions. And if
Yeah.
you're sat filing and you're like that trying to file,
Yeah.
then
100%.
you're going to cause yourself a problem.
Yeah.
And so I did a lot of Nurofen, and then I decided, I just thought, I'm going to get myself, I've seen these saddle stools at trade shows, I'm going to get myself a saddle stool. Literally within days, frozen shoulder disappeared, and I've never had it back since. And obviously I don't
Wow.
really do, I don't do nails now. But
Yeah.
if you've ever sat on a saddle stool, you'll know it make you have no choice but to sit with correct posture.
Oh, yeah, you do. The way it positions your pelvis,
Yeah.
you kind of, it's uncomfortable to slouch. So it
Yeah.
is that
I know we
lengthening.
had a whole conversation the other day, and I've got a client at the moment who's got a frozen shoulder, and she's a web designer, and she sits with a mouse and her keyboard, and she's in quite a confined space, and she's had a frozen shoulder. She literally can't move her arm higher than that at the moment. And I gave her a massage the other week, and I said to her, I want you to go and buy yourself a saddle stool. I want you to go and get an ergonomic mouse, and I want you to get a better pillow.
Yeah,
Um, and all she's done so far is the better pillow, but that has it's eased it mildly. But
a little
she was
bit.
sleeping
Yeah,
on a pillow that was flat. And so we have to make sure we look after her. There's so many elements to keeping our physicality upright and in the right
yeah,
position. I really do.
yeah.
I really do feel like I'm having to sit very posturally correct today. Um, but I'm kind of sitting like I'm on my saddle stool because I feel like I need to be upright when I'm talking to you, Kerry. But
Yeah.
yeah, because I know that, yeah, I might not be being judged, but I'm being observed.
Oh, you know, don't worry.
But
Oh,
those
don't worry.
things, these things,
Yeah,
if we're working as a therapist and we're sitting on a stool that is uncomfortable or that we can slide around on, or as a nail tech, or even as a hairdresser, if you're using a cutting stool, make
yeah,
sure you're using one that supports your spine. And saddle stools
100.
can be massively expensive, like the top of the range ones, you're looking at £700 or £800. But you can pick
Yeah,
one up for about £100, which is a good saddle stool, nice and broad, and it will really help, won't it?
yeah. It will. Just looking at all of your equipment and just looking at and gradually, like incrementally upgrade it to things that are going to help you in the long run. Because you
Yeah,
really have to look at it's an investment in your business, in your career, looking after this,
yeah,
looking after yourself. We preach to everyone else, look after yourself, do this, have regular massages, but we go down the pecking list.
yeah,
It is bonkers. So it's just be like I said before, being mindful that even when I used to do pedicures, I used to do pedicures on the couch in the end and have them really high, so I didn't have to
yeah,
bend. Like their feet
yeah,
were pretty much in level with my face. So I didn't have
Yeah,
to do all of this
yeah,
because it just, your shoulders, then when your chest collapse, your shoulders are going to get tight, which is going to impact your neck. It just has this knock-on effect
yeah.
throughout your whole body, like a chain reaction. So it's definitely being mindful as she slouches, but
Yeah, she
as
slouches, yeah. But it's hard not to, isn't it? You know, we're human, and I think more than ever now, we kind of always look for a more relaxed position, don't we? And
yeah,
and I know, you know, when I'm sitting, if I'm doing reflexology, say, I know I'm on my saddle stool, I've got my feet flat on the floor, and I've got good posture. But then there's certain things when I have to kind of move to the side. But then, you know, you've got to move, you know, so now, whereas before, if I was on, like, when I was on a different stool, I probably would have kind of reached round and done a bit of that. But now, because the saddle stool doesn't let me do that, I have to move my stool. And it's all those little minimal thought processes of just say, actually, no, think about how this is going to work, because the impact of when you have problems in your hands and you can't work is so much,
yeah.
is, you know, you're going to thank yourself for it, aren't you?
You are, and be thinking about how you are throughout your whole day. If you find that you're like this, then that evening you need to be like stretching out your chest and opening
Yeah,
up, because all of this is going to have an impact that's going to run down your arms. Like
yeah,
my wrists hurt when my shoulders are tight, and when my like deltoids are tight, then it impacts my wrists. Like my
yeah,
wrists go all painful. So it's being really mindful, and doing something like Pilates is going to help you bring that into your everyday life.
yeah,
It's going to build strength on those tinier muscles so you can hold yourself for longer without wanting to like slouch because you don't have the
yeah,
strength
yeah.
you're in those small supporting like
It's, I think
muscles.
that, yeah, that core strength thing is so important. And as you're saying it, actually, I'm just realizing I can finally get my reformer out, because I've now got my office and I believe I have got space in here to put it. And it's not, and I haven't had my reformer out for probably 5 years.
Oh, get it out, dust it off,
I know I'm going,
dust
I
that
know I might
off.
have to, because my core, I know my core is really bad from too many hours of sitting like this. And I can feel it across my sacrum, I can feel it in my core. I literally have
Yeah,
no, I've got no strength in my torso from my rib cage down to the bottom of my spine. It's just gone. It's evaporated,
yeah.
and I need to bring it back.
You need to
Running
get
doesn't
your
make that happen. And I think it's got worse
no.
since I've been running, actually, weirdly. I
I
thought that
think
would
it's
improve
being
it.
mindful as well of like just drawing your belly button in. You don't want to be doing it all the
Mm.
time, but if you can just draw your belly button in when you're
Okay, let's do
bending
this.
or when you're working or when you're running, that's instantly gonna like tighten those corset muscles and
Yeah,
make you sit up taller, and that will add a kind of a bit of a tone to
yeah.
those muscles to help support
I'm
you.
gonna try.
Is
I'm gonna I'm gonna channel Kerry when I'm running next, and just see if I,
exactly.
because it is, I think, you know, we get so used to just sitting and not actually engaging our core, don't we? And I think, as you know, we're
Yeah, we
not
do.
taught to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And
We're
as
not
women in
meant to sit down.
particular,
Our bodies aren't designed. Yeah, our bodies aren't designed to sit down all the time. Like we're meant to
no,
move, but
yeah,
also move mindfully through your feet, and even if you've been on your feet all day, good old tennis balls like on the fascia on the underneath of your feet, give them
mm,
a good old rub, and that can even just alleviate neck pain as it helps
yeah,
get rid of all that tightness in fascia, that sort of
yeah,
tissue that surrounds your muscles, because you're on your feet all day, and then that can have an impact on your back, and then
yeah.
will have an impact on your shoulders and your wrists. It is just a
Because
chain effect.
but you know, if you go back to, you know, the song, your head bone's connected to your neck bone, you know, and it
Yeah,
is,
exactly.
everything in our bodies is connected. And you know, you
Yeah,
can have a pain in your fingertip, and it's like I've got it's like a filing injury, like from years and years of filing in my ring finger, from years of holding people's hands and filing. And as I've been completely without even realizing, I must have been causing friction across that nerve. And I now have a problem in that finger, that if I catch it in the wrong way, oh my, it's like an electric shock. So I know it's a nerve
really,
problem.
that's
And it,
interesting.
yeah, it's really, really weird. And I can only put it down to years of holding clients' hands, and that file catching and the friction caused by it has just inflamed the nerve in some way.
Years. Yeah, it is.
But
I can't stress enough how important it is to look after your body
no,
in this
no,
industry. Yeah,
no.
it really
It
is.
isn't.
Regular, like, the wrists and the fingers, But like you say, even if you've got dodgy wrists and they're starting to feel it, you still need to be mobilizing
Yeah,
right up here and into the back as well,
yeah.
because it's all going to have
It,
that impact.
yeah. And I think as well, one of the things that someone said to me the other day, I was at my aqua class I go to, and I was saying, oh, like my lower back's really bad at the moment. And they were saying, well, like, can't you just give yourself a massage? And I was like, well, it's actually a bit of a challenge to do, especially lower back to sort of like to do get in and do
Shelter.
that. Yeah, but yeah, because everything's round the wrong way. So, but I was saying, generally, I do, I've always for years, ever since I had a lot of problems with my hand, I had a car accident, ended up having to have surgery because of the car accident, but it also inflamed problems with tendon coming down my thumb, which is a thing called de Quervain's tendinosynovitis. Wonderful
Yeah.
name. And I ended up having to have surgery for that. But as a result of it, I ended up out of work for 20 weeks. And no one wants that. You really don't want to be out of
No.
work for 20 weeks. But as a
Yeah.
result, I ended up then having massage. I mean, I was going after I had it done, I was having massage and I was having like myofascial treatments done. I was having a chiropractor. I had previously, when I'd had a flare up of de Quervain's before, done probably 8 months of acupuncture. And it was the only thing that
Really.
kept me going. Yeah.
Yeah. This is
And
it.
it's
It's
so
so important,
hard.
like, to look after. Like, I massage a shoe farer, puts shoes on horses.
Farrier.
Um, Farrier, that's the word.
Yeah.
God, yeah, that's the word. And he comes to me for massage. He goes to my old boss for Pilates, and comes to both of us, and he goes to a chiropractor religiously every 3 weeks. And
Yeah.
he's one of the longest standing farriers because everyone has to quit because of their body
Yeah.
issues. And it's
Yeah.
the same with our industry, isn't it? You don't A lot of the people in our industry are a lot younger because your body's a bit more flexible when you're stronger, and then as you get older, because you haven't looked after it, it
Mm.
then means maybe can't necessarily do the thing that you love all the time. So
Yeah.
it really is. I'll show you my Theragun. Let me get it quickly so
Oh
you can
yeah,
see what it
show
looks.
us the Theragun. And also one of the things that I know myself as a reflexologist for over 20 years, and I haven't even done that much reflexology as someone that does reflexology alone. But I have got, that holds the thumb walking that we do as reflexologists, plus the thumb movements of like doing manicures and removing nail polish and
Yeah,
removing disbursement layer of gels and that kind of stuff. All of that, I've been doing that through massage reflexology or nails for over 20
yeah,
years. And that thumb
yeah,
joint now is so sore. I can't, like,
yes,
downward pressure on it hurts. And now,
yeah,
and I have tried where I can to make sure that doesn't happen, but it's just wear and tear of doing the same movement repetitively for over 20 years.
yeah.
And
That's it. I
now I've
can't
got
do.
arthritis in start, and I know that's what it is because I can feel that the joint's slightly bigger than it should be. And yeah, I
Yeah,
don't need a doctor to
yeah.
tell me that.
Yeah, this is it, and it is the wear and tear because you're using the same thing over and over. But if you can try to strengthen the muscles around the
Mm.
joints and keep them flexible as well, then at least you've got a bit more of a
Yeah,
chance of like looking after your joints. But yeah, I can't do reflex energy more. I'm double jointed, so it was always a much. But elbows, like learning
yeah,
deep tissue massage to take away from the hands, using your body and using your body weight more in massage. Obviously, you can't do that
yeah,
in nails. Using your body weight rather than keep using your thumbs will save your
yeah,
hands a lot.
yeah.
But this is my Theragun. So we've just got a
Oh,
Theragun Mini. Where is it? And it's brilliant. I'll turn it on. Hang on.
oh,
So so it goes like this, and you've got different
yeah. My
settings.
chiropractor used to use something like that. Hers did look much more gun-like, but she used to put
Yeah,
up
you
my
get like a
spine.
bigger
Oh, it was weird.
one. Yeah.
Mm,
So the brand, the Theragun. We've tried all sorts. We've tried cheap ones. Got them from Rob buys them from Temu. We've tried all ones, but we have found this one to be the best.
hmm
I don't know how much. The big guns aren't cheap. They're a few £100s. I think this
mm.
was about 70 quid. But literally all round, be careful and obviously bone, round your glutes, backs of your legs, hamstrings, lifesaver. We do it everywhere. Tops of your
Ooh.
arms, yeah, everywhere. Tops of your glutes, to help with your lower back.
Oh,
Theragun is Del
nice.
Worth Nutrition. And also a shiatsu mat as
Oh,
well.
now
This is
someone I know, one of my clients uses one of those actually.
Yeah,
She
brilliant.
lies
Helps
on
with
it
your
every
sleep.
night.
Yeah, they're wicked. I tried to do it every night. Sometimes that doesn't work. But that just helps like relax all your fascia as well to help your back, and you just feel so much looser by laying on one of them. 5-10
Yeah,
minutes you need, and then
I do.
and a bit of
And
stretching.
I think as well, though, we really, really need to just kind of focus, don't we, on as therapists or any kind of salon professional. We know that, we want our careers to last till we retire. That's, we come
Yeah,
into this industry with a passion to help people, make people feel better, give people confidence and all that stuff that we do. And if
yeah.
we end up breaking our bodies down, it doesn't help anybody at all.
No, it doesn't. No,
Because we're not helping
so no.
ourselves, and we're then not able to pass on all that wonderful stuff that we can do to help our clients.
Yeah,
So
exactly that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully, yeah, we've given people a little bit of food for thought. But do go and get yourself a stress ball. If you use your hands all day long, get yourself a stress ball. Get some
Yes.
putty. And you can find like exercises and stuff still online with that. Get a shiatsu mat, saddle stool. Like, how many wonderful things have we given people to take away with
And
them
it's
today?
if you don't want to spend, you're like, I don't really want to spend 100 quid or whatever on a gun. A couple of tennis balls is all you
Yeah,
need.
yeah,
And be obviously if you're using the putty, but you also want to be stretching out
yeah.
as
It's
well.
so much of it is about stretching. And yeah.
Yeah.
And also, and actually one thing I just want to touch on before we finish is
Yes.
bed, like bed movements, because I've got an electric bed, and obviously depending on size of client and all the rest of it. And
Yeah.
I always try and start my bed at the right height because it's electric. I can kind of I always move it up and down at the beginning of the treatment, and then halfway through the treatment, I'm like, oh, I wish I'd made that higher or lower.
Yeah.
And I think, but I know even after all these years, rather than disturb their treatment, I will
You
I
suffer.
will persevere and suffer. And I think we
Yeah.
kind of we need to kind of get ourselves over that, don't we? Just a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. This is it. You suddenly think, oh no, I should have brought it up. It's like, but
Yeah,
thing is, they won't. I mean, if you stop at a reasonable point and just say, I'm just going to pop the bed up a little bit, it's done in
yeah,
seconds, isn't it? For your
yeah. Well, as long as
comfort,
you've got an electric bed or a hydraulic bed, and
yeah, of course.
yeah,
Yeah, don't be getting them off the nuts and
yeah, don't
bolts.
yeah, that's it. I know, because this is the thing, isn't it? And I think so many people do have those beds that
Oh
are
yeah,
fixed. So
yeah,
it is, I think the biggest consideration is if you're a massage therapist or a beauty therapist, and making sure that to the best degree possible you have your bed height at the correct height for the service you're about to
yeah,
provide.
yeah, exactly that. Yeah, I don't have an electric bed at home, so I bend my knees and deep
Yeah,
squat. So nice wide squat, bend my knees, and then I keep my spine straight while I'm doing a massage or whatever it is you're
yeah,
doing. So if you haven't got that sort of, oh gosh, can't get the words out. You haven't got an electric bed, bring your
yeah,
body lower, but not from your
yeah,
spine, from the
yeah.
bottom half. Strengthen your legs as well.
Maybe what we should do, Kerry, is we should get us together in our treatment rooms and do our Zoom that way next time, and we could do some demonstrations.
That's a good idea. Do you know, I
That
started
might
to
be
do
quite
that.
a nice idea, actually.
Yeah, I used to go around spas and like educate people on
Yeah, because you could
posture and
correct me. You could do we
yeah,
could we could do it that way, couldn't we? It's just like
yeah, that's
let's
a good
correct
idea.
Sue. But it might be
Yeah,
quite nice to because I think sometimes, and especially if people haven't done like a level three qualification, that if they've gone and done it through private academies and stuff, those courses tend to be more compact and less time available, and so they may not have had that level of instruction.
yeah, yeah, that's it. I know when I used to teach massage, I used to be like an old fart. I'd be like, what is this posture going on about? And I used to
Yeah,
really, but if someone hasn't had back problems, they're not necessarily going to teach it because they're not really aware of it
yeah,
themselves. They don't really
yeah,
think. So yeah,
yeah.
it is. Yeah, be
So
worth
maybe
it,
we'll do
definitely.
maybe next quarter we'll depending what your
Yes,
article's about. I'm sure it will be about something that is
body
posturally
wise.
correct. Yes,
Yes.
but we'll but maybe if we get an opportunity, we should just do a sort of like a demo of
Yeah,
how to bend your knees.
bend those knees because they do bend.
Yes, they do bend.
And you
But
bend your
anyway,
shoulders on.
let's leave that there for today. And thank you so much for coming on. And I hope that this our little chat and our digressions into different things of what's broken down with our bodies over the years, and how you can
Yeah,
prevent that has helped.
exactly.
Anyway, thanks so much, Karen.
Thank
And
you.
we'll see you next quarter for your next chat.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.